Hello guys, News Today here. Let's talk countries. Hello guys, News Today here again. I'm pretty goofy on ideas about, ancient countries, you name it, but we are going to talk about, again, if Satanism and Christianity were two countries. I know, it sounds a little wild, right? Like something you'd come up with after eating way too much pizza before bed. But stick with me on this one. Imagine, just for a second, that instead of being belief systems, these were actual places on a map. You could book a flight, get a passport stamp, the whole deal. It's a fun idea, right? We're not getting too serious here, just having a little laugh. It's like a history class taught by a guy who definitely failed history class twice. So let's set the stage. We've got two nations side by side, probably with a really, really long fence between them. On one side, you have let's call it the Great Republic of Christianity. And on the other, the independent state of Satanism. Already you can picture the flags, can't you? One is probably all white and gold with maybe a dove or a lamb on it. Very clean, very pristine. The other one, well, it's probably black and red, and has a goat that's really into heavy metal. You just know their national anthems would be complete opposites. One a beautiful choir, the other just screaming. It's hilarious to think about. The whole concept is just fascinating to me. Think about their governments, their laws, their national holidays. What would their economies be based on? For Christianity, maybe they export really well-made pews and Bibles with very soft pages. For Satanism, maybe they're the leading manufacturers of leather jackets and ridiculously spicy hot sauce. I mean, the possibilities are endless and frankly pretty funny. You could have travel shows, Rick Steves' Tour of the Holy Lands, and then right next door, Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown, and a little bit feared. It's a world I'd love to visit just for the weekend, you know? This whole thing started when I was thinking about how different groups of people have their own unique cultures, their own way of doing things. And religions are a huge part of that. They have their own art, music, food rules, and traditions. So, turning them into countries isn't that much of a stretch, is it? It's just taking that idea and running with it until it gets silly. And folks, you know me, I love to get silly. So buckle up, we're about to take a little trip to the most interesting neighboring countries you've ever heard of. This is gonna be good. I hope I remember all my jokes. First stop on our imaginary world tour, the Great Republic of Christianity. Picture this place. The streets are incredibly clean, like impossibly clean. You could probably eat your lunch right off the sidewalk, but you wouldn't, because there are designated picnic areas with perfectly manicured lawns. The architecture is all grand cathedrals, with stunning stained glass windows everywhere. The national bird is a dove, and they are literally everywhere, cooing peacefully. The national motto is probably something like "Turn the Other Cheek" or "WWJD," printed on all the currency. It's a very calm, very orderly place. A little too quiet for me, maybe. The people there are super friendly, like over-the-top friendly. Everyone says God bless you when you sneeze, even if you're a tourist just passing through. They have potlucks every Sunday, and the main dish is always some kind of casserole. You've never seen so much casserole in your life. Their biggest national holiday is, of course, Christmas, and they go all out. I'm talking lights, carols, and a mandatory 2-week vacation for everyone to spend time with their families. The national sport is probably something non-contact, like competitive gardening or synchronized swimming. They're just nice. Almost suspiciously nice. Now let's talk about the laws in Christianity land. They're all based on the 10 Commandments, which are posted on big marble slabs in every town square. Things like "Thou shalt not steal" are taken very seriously. If you drop your wallet, someone will run 3 blocks to give it back to you, and they'll probably have put a little extra cash in it. The biggest legal debates are about things like, is it okay to covet thy neighbor's really cool lawnmower? It's a place with a lot of rules, but they're all meant to make sure everyone gets along, which is a nice thought. But it's not all perfect. Their Wi-Fi is probably really slow because they believe in connecting with each other in person. And their TV programming is, well, it's all very family-friendly. Think of an endless loop of wholesome sitcoms and documentaries about saints. You wouldn't find any gritty crime dramas here. The most scandalous thing on the news would be about a choir that sang slightly off-key during the morning service. It's a peaceful country for sure. A great place to relax, but maybe not the most exciting vacation spot if you're looking for a wild night out. Alright, let's hop over the border. Welcome to the independent state of Satanism, and wow, what a change of scenery. The sky is a little darker here, maybe some dramatic stormy clouds. The architecture is all sharp angles, black stone, and lots of fire. Think Gothic castles, but with way better concert venues. Their national motto is "Do what thou wilt," which is a pretty liberating if slightly chaotic slogan for a country. The national animal is a goat, and he's on the money, the flag, and he's probably the lead singer of their most famous rock band. It's a vibe, that's for sure. The people in Satanism are all about independence and self-expression. Everyone is encouraged to be their true, authentic self, no matter how weird or different that might be. So you see a lot of wild fashion, a lot of tattoos, a lot of people just doing their own thing. They don't have big community potlucks. Instead, everyone is kind of in charge of their own dinner. They're not unfriendly, just very individualistic. They respect your right to be you, as long as you respect their right to be them. It's a nation of artists, musicians, and free thinkers who really value personal freedom above all else. The laws are pretty simple. Basically, don't hurt anyone who doesn't deserve it, and take responsibility for your own actions. It's a country built on personal accountability. If you mess up, it's on you. There are no excuses. Their biggest national holiday is probably Halloween, and it's a month-long festival of costumes, parties, and spooky movies. The national sport would have to be something intense, like skateboarding down a volcano, or maybe competitive debating where everyone is yelling. It's a place with a ton of energy. You'd never be bored here, that's for sure. Of course, living here has its own challenges. Finding a quiet corner to read a book would be tough with all the heavy metal music blasting from every window. And while do what thou wilt sounds great, it can get complicated. Imagine trying to form a line at the DMV. It would be total chaos. Everyone would just be doing their own thing. Their TV would be amazing though. All the edgy, experimental shows that would never get made anywhere else. It's a country that celebrates the individual, the rebel, the artist. It's loud, it's a little messy, but it's also incredibly creative and free. But even in all the chaos, there are moments of peace. Some people find their quiet in the middle of the storm, meditating on rooftops or just soaking in the city lights. And despite all the independence, you'll still find pockets of real connection. Late-night conversations, shared stories, and friendships that thrive on mutual respect for each other's differences. So, you've got these two countries, Christianity and Satanism, sitting right next to each other. Can you imagine what the border crossing would be like? It would be the most interesting place on earth. You'd have missionaries from Christianity trying to hand out pamphlets and free water bottles on one side, and on the other, you'd have rock bands from Satanism trying to get everyone to come to their concert. The border guards would need so much patience. It would be a constant back and forth of cultural exchange, a little bit tense, but also kind of hilarious. I picture a fence with a little gate in the middle where they trade things. I'll trade you this casserole for that leather jacket. The tourism industry would be booming. People from all over the world would come to see these two polar opposite nations. You could spend a week in Christianity, enjoying the peace, the quiet, and the angelic choirs. Then you could pop over to Satanism for the weekend to see a killer concert and eat some mind-blowingly spicy food. It would be the ultimate 2-for-1 vacation package. The souvenir shops would be incredible. You could get a little snow globe with a cathedral in it, and right next to it, a t-shirt with a flaming goat on it. It's all about balance, right? Thinking about this whole thing, you realize that even though they seem like total opposites, they might have some things in common. Both countries would have passionate citizens who deeply believe in their way of life. They both have a strong sense of identity and a rich culture built around their core values. One values community and harmony. The other values individuality and freedom. They're just two different ways of looking at the world, two different paths to living a life with purpose. And when you put them side by side, you see that maybe they're not as far apart as they seem, or maybe they are. And that's what makes it so funny. Would religions be countries? You know, after thinking about all this, I gotta say, probably not. It would be way too complicated. Can you imagine the UN meetings? It would be a total disaster. Plus, where would you put all the other religions? It would be the most crowded map ever. It's a funny idea for a monologue, but in reality, I think it's better to keep your passport and your prayer book in separate pockets. It's just simpler that way. And definitely funnier to talk about on TV.